Okay, we're going to be talking about Syria's population.
Alright, so the basic Syrian population. The total population is 22.85 million.
There are several religious groups in Syria. It's predominantly Muslim, which is 74% Sunni Muslim, and then they have Alawi, Ismaili, and 13% Shia Muslim. 10% Christian, that includes Orthodox, Unayyad, and Nestorian. And then they're 3% Druze Jewish, but there are few remaining in Damascus and Aleppo.
Syria's rate of decline. So the rate of decline is negative 9.73. And this is directly related to the civil war in 2011. The population will be cut in just 12 years if the civil war continues.
So the civil war began in the spring of 2011. There's 295,060 deaths, and it's been over a protest over Bashar al-Assad's government. The war has left government with control of only 35% of the country and little power over their people. There have been serious implications caused by the fighting, such as impoverished living conditions and a crumbling healthcare system, leaving millions without access to proper care. Because of these things, there are a lot of people fleeing to refugee camps. 3 million people have fled Syria since 2011. The Damiz camp, located on the border of Syria and Iraq, offers food, housing, and low-wage jobs to Syrian refugees. Every day, hundreds of Syrians are crowding themselves into the small tents with their families. So it's been really crazy for them.
So the fertility and death rate. 2.69 children are born, and 6.51 people die, and that's out of thousands. The in-displaced people, 6.5 million, and this is ongoing since the civil war has started in 2011. Dirty water in Syria directly influences the population, the decline. In urban settings, 7.7% of the population is affected. In rural settings, 12.8% of the population is affected. And the total, 9.9% of the population. So, infant mortality and life expectancy. Infant mortality, 15.79 deaths per thousand live births. The male expectancy is 61.4 years. The female expectancy is a little bit more. It's 78.84 years, and their combined expectancy is an average of 68.41 years.
So the age-sex structure in Syria, as you can see from the graph, the low life expectancy is pretty obvious because the graph kind of curves in really quickly. The country is mostly a young country because a majority of the country is made up of younger people. Female-male distribution, it's almost completely 50-50 between the two. This is a graphical representation of the population changes since 1950. It also has predictions. As you can see, the population has grown fairly rapidly and exponentially since around 1995. But since then, the Syrian civil war has actually made the population decline a serious amount.
And so 10% of the country right now, since 2011, has either fled or perished every year.
So according to us, we did some research, and we think that Syria is a stage 4 country in the demographic stages, but this was previous to the Civil War because the Civil War kind of messed with some of the numbers. But Syria seems to have a stable birth and death rate to where they're almost exactly the same, and that results in still growing, but the birth rate, or still growing population, but the population is leveling out. These are our references. Thank you.